Trees are falling at a startling rate.
Destruction
The size of the Amazon rainforest.
Once it is gone forever.
LifeScience.com in its reference article Deforestation Facts, Causes and Effects by Sarah Darwin state that deforestation is the permanent removal of trees to make room for something besides forest. This can include clearing the land for agriculture or grazing or using the timber for fuel, construction and manufacturing. Until today, it is estimated that forests cover more than 30% of Earth's land surface according to World Wildlife Fund (WWF). Sharon L. Cohen shared in her article The History of Deforestation that it is any process that alters an original tree cover. Thousands of years ago, our Earth was mostly covered by forests and greenlands. Even though deforestation became a serious concern in the 1950s, it has been an issue since we began making fires hundreds and hundreds of thousands years ago. The extinction of plants and animals due to deforestation has occurred for thousands of years. Deforestation continues to be an increasingly serious problem due to the world's rapidly growing population and demands on valuable resources. The environment is ever more sensitive to change, and some areas of the Earth are already suffering from irreversible damage. We all know trees offer shelter and protection, and fuel for combustion. Its nutritious fruits and nuts provide food as well as medication and economic values. Cutting down trees did not require modern and advanced technology. The earliest people could use stones or flint axes to fell trees or just fire them. As humanization and civilization advanced day by day, centuries by centuries, trees were cut down first for agricultural use and then for increased urbanization. The steady growth of population in the European forests from 9,000 to 5,000 before Christ led to extensive land clearing for agriculture and animal domestication. This situation occurred at once in all continents including China, Africa, and America with increasing population for the next centuries. Industrial revolution in the 1800s sparked and fueled the invention of metals, axes, and power axes for forest exploitation. Michael Williams in History Today stated that 67,000 square kilometers of forest were cleared between the end of 17th until the early 20th century in Central European Russia. Before about 1950, most deforestation occurred in the temperate zones of Europe, Russia, China, North America, and Australia as agricultural lands in those regions expanded. Thereafter, deforestation and agricultural expansion on those regions slowed and even reversed. The US is probably the prime example of forest expansion as the farms moved west in the middle of the 20th century and forests regrew on abandoned croplands in the east. But deforestation continues today in the eastern US, now for residential and commercial land. In contrast to 19th and 20th century deforestation in the world temperate zone, deforestation in our tropics did not begin until after 1950, thus reaching rates of 12 million hectares per year in the 1990s. The rates have slowed down by the 21st, but not by much. The exception is Brazil, where the annual rate of deforestation in Amazonia declined by almost 80% since a peak in 2004. Deforestation in the rest of tropics still continues, and the rate overall for the tropics is still about 9 million hectares per year. This rate is offset to some extent by increment in planted forests or plantations, for example in Brazil, India, and also Vietnam.
As you know, deforestation can lead to direct loss of wildlife habitat. The removal of trees and other types of vegetation, as well as food, shelter, and breeding habitat. Because of deforestation, Wildlife habitats can become fragmented. Animals also may encounter dangerous situations when they attempt to migrate to other places. On top of that, wildlife may experience an increased vulnerability to predation, poaching, wind, and sunlight. Deforestation, such as wildfire, will reduce the remaining forest area. May it will be in an accident or real purpose. Remember, there are still animals that living in trees just to sleep, eat, and breed. As you remember, the wildfire case that happens in Australia, this led to many deaths of wildlife animals such as koalas, kangaroos, and many such exotic animals. Very sad and very sad. In human perspective, deforestation is also have other wholesome effect. The increase in spread of life-threatening disease such as malaria and dengue fever for a haze of ecological reason. The loss of forests such that can act as an incubator for insect-borne and other infectious disease. The increase of landslides in any and many types of hills and mountains is also dangerous. In earth, the roots of the trees are used as gripper for the soil and the earth. So, deforestation will cause the grip to lose and the land will slide due to heavy rain and many things else. That's all. Thank you.
The effect of deforestation to the earth may lead to food insecurity in the future. This is because food production is moderately impacted by soil erosion. In the long term, the lack of healthy and nutritious soil can lead to the low yield and food insecurity. Then, soil erosion is one of the consequences of deforestation. Deforestation weaken and degrade the soil. Forest soil are usually not only richer on organic matter but also more resistant to erosion, bad weather, and extreme weather events. This happens mainly because root help fix tree in the ground and the sun blocking tree cover help the soil to slow dry out. As a result, deforestation will probably mean the soil will become increasingly fragile, leaving the area more vulnerable to natural disasters such as landslide and flood. The deforestation may contribute to the climate change. This is because trees absorb CO2 from the living thing and release O2 to the environment. If the tree cut down, the absorption of CO2 will decrease and also O2 will decrease. So the ozone layer will thin. This is because the production of O2 is decreased, so the environment will become hot.
So today I'm going to tell you how to stop deforestation. First of all, avoid products containing palm oil. The huge demand for the world's most used and efficient oil is leading to illegal deforestation, especially in Asia. So we challenge you to try to buy less industrial and transformed products such as cookies, crepes, noodle or soaps that use plenty of palm oil. And you really need to try hard because Green Palm estimates that 50% of the products on supermarket shelves contain palm oil. Choose instead a homemade approach which favor chemicals and food preservative. It's better for the planet and for your health. Who knows if there's not a great baker or chef hidden in yourself waiting for a shot. After that, we can stop deforestation by shop sustainability certified products. Helping to stop deforestation doesn't mean you need to make radical changes. You can still do your normal life by trying to help stop deforestation. The first and second step to stop deforestation do not mean you should have no consumption at all, but they might mean you should perhaps shop more consciously. So if you still want to buy cookies from the supermarket or continue to consume meat, do it, but try to keep in mind the source of the product you are buying. You can help by getting products that are locally produced and have a fair trade label. A specific sustainability stamp depending on the goods industry will also be positive. In this way, getting pepper with FSC certification, UTZ coffee, fair trade certified chocolate or RSP or palm oil means that these products aren't produced by harming nearby forests. Right. Moreover, we can take good care of your technology devices. Your technology devices are probably a source of deforestation too. Why? Because building cell phone, tablets, laptop or other tech devices mean minerals such as lithium, copper or nickel need to be available and were previously extracted. The extraction and the chemical separation processes to get these minerals is very polluting and likely to take down existing trees to create new mining sites. Moreover, the tech industry is expected to be one of the fastest growing industries for the next decades, driven by the constant demand for new tech devices. This means we'll need more minerals and natural resources and consequently more mining sites. Altogether, the mining industry is expected to be the second to grow the most until 2030. That's all from us. Thank you.